Even though it feels as if Miyazaki treats online multiplayer like his ugly stepson, it is still a truly unique experience, only found in a Dark Souls game. Whether you like invading innocent Tarnished and ruining their day, or doing honorable duels with a fellow warrior, you're gonna want to spice things up every now and then and try out new builds. And so, I've collected the top 8 best PvP builds that you need to try. Now I admit I am not a professional here, but don't worry, I have done my due diligence to make sure that I give y'all some value with this video. Maybe even show you something that you haven't seen before. That being said, I'll do y'all the favor of leaving all the obvious and cheesy stuff out of this list. Stuff like Waves of Gold, Rivers of Blood, Dragon's Rotten Breath, yeah, all that bullshit. I have ranked all the builds from worst to best, so the stronger and more effective ones will be further down the list. Alright, think we're ready to jump into the video. First up, we'll start off with one of my own personal creations, the Prince of Darkness build. I took the Blood Flame on Magwin's Sacred Spear and combined it with the Frenzy Flame on Vike's War Spear, making this build straight firepower, baby. Seeing the red and yellow flames combo together like that is just beautiful.
Oh, beautiful.
And if you can jabate them right into a Flame and Frenzy drop, you're gonna do some massive damage. To top it all off, I got some Fire and Frenzy type incantations for a bit more range. It would be certainly more effective just to only use Vike's Spear and go all in on the Faith to scale with the Frenzy attacks, but this build is cooler with the Blood Flame added in. So overall, this is kind of a hybrid Faith/Arcane build. Moving right on forward, number 7. We have the Whips and Ancient Lightning. So, you do wield whips, using the Thunderbolt Ash of War on your main hand. This will allow you to dominate at mid-range combat. Plus, the whips actually have a mean crouch poke. I recommend using a Keen Yorumi for your left side whip, as it has a S for dexterity scaling. Then, go ahead and use all the Ancient Red Lightning spells to complete your transformation into a Lightning God. By the way, whenever you're using a Faith build, you can throw this Cypher Pada in your second slot in case you need it. Not only does it scale with Faith, but it literally weighs nothing. Overall, a tactical lightning and dexterity build that's lethal when used correctly. Coming in at number 6, we have the Ninja Turtle build.
I don't always
wield katanas,
but when I do, I prefer
nagakibas.
This thing is even longer than most spears and halberds. With its super long reach, you can use Spinning Slash and become a Blood Flame Tornado. And I bet you didn't know, I bet y'all didn't know, that the Turtle Shield gives you increased stamina regen. Yeah, I bet y'all didn't know that. So throw it on your back, get that increased stamina, some extra defense, and turn into a motherfucking Ninja Turtle, baby. With this build, I like to use a high poise and tank my way through enemies' attacks, because you know that the blood loss is waiting for them on the other side, and it's gonna fuck them up. Very simple, yet deadly. By the way, you should know that Arcane has a hard cap around 40 or 45, so I don't recommend leveling up your Arcane anything past that. In 5th place, we have the Crouch Poke or Unga Bunga. This is your full-on strength and high poise build. Now, in case you didn't know, the Greatsword Crouch Poke is a legendary move, used only by the finest PvP players. Use this tech with caution, man. This is one of those abilities Grandpa Palpatine was referring to when he said, "The Crouch Poke
is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural."
Now, I don't usually use full strength builds like this, so please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I do know that all you need is one good hit with Lion's Claw or Giant's Hunt, and you clapping cheeks. With this build, it's definitely worth trading blows with an enemy, and with a high poise, you can do so successfully. You can even light up your heavy greatsword with fire grease for even more attack power. Moving forward, we're now getting into the real spicy stuff. In 4th place, the Magic Samurai Intelligence and Dexterity build. You got the Moonveil Katana front and center. Even after the nerf, this weapon art still makes you a monster at medium to close range. Then go ahead and use the cheesiest spells you have. I found that this gravity spell, followed up with the Frosty Sword Slash, is a killer, man. It catches people all the time. I even like using Loretta's bow for sniping at a distance. This build will dominate at invasions and in duels. Before we move on to our top 3, let's go over our honorable mentions. Yep, you know how we do it. I'm just gonna list off a bunch of attacks that didn't quite make it into a build, but it's still worth talking about. We have finally made it to our top 3. In third place, the Bloody Spears. Some use the smaller and faster thrusting swords, but I prefer having that length. And the Cross Naginata has got to be one of the longest weapons in the game. This is a simple, straightforward strategy. With such a strong bleed buildup, you only need a couple pokes, and boom, bloody sausage, baby. Using Seppuku on my left hand spear, but then I got Beast Roar on my main hand to be even more annoying. Like I said, nothing fancy, but very deadly. Next up, number 2, the Strength, Faith, and Flames build. I'd say the Blasphemous Blade is probably one of, if not the best, strength and faith weapons in the game. High attack power, strong weapon art, and it does fire damage, so it fits with our build. I like using a mix of Giant's Flame and Frenzy Flame incantations. Like this, you can charge up this giant fireball and surprise your enemy with it. I also found this Raining Flame Down attack has good distance and surprisingly good area of effect. But the main entree are these Frenzy Flame spells. Most people already know that Madness is stupid strong in PvP. They're based in fire damage as well, so buffing our fire attack power will be super effective at this point. Even though I personally favor incantations, they just do not stack up to the cheesiness that we find in the number 1 spot. In first place, we have the 100% fully erected mage build. I don't know if it's just me, but I get obliterated by almost every decent mage I come across in PvP. It's to the point where once I see a dude summon up wearing that big white hat, looking like Gandalf and Ronnie had a baby, my butthole clenches right up. I immediately go into panic mode. Dude, the Carrion Slicer is way too fast. Got Giant Hammer Smash for close area attack, medium range spam attacks, long distance snipes, and I'm not even good at sorceries. People who know how to combo the spells together, man, it's too much. If you haven't played an intelligence build yet, I recommend respecing just to try it out.